Hi everyone, it's your old friend Walsh here. And this is the first video in a series of videos of an introduction to electric lap steel. If you've been following along on my YouTube channel, we've got a number of different video playlists up with all sorts of slide guitars. We've done the acoustic lap steel. So I thought today we would begin some electric lap steel. Now, before we go further, you may want to go back and take a look at the introduction to acoustic lap steel. The reason I say is because we're not going to spend much time on this today, but it does go into bar technique, essentially how to hold the bar. I use the spider technique, behind the string muting. So you might want to go back and check that before we get into this lesson here. Same principles, two different guitars. Also, this lesson will be in open G, and we'll do a few videos in open G here. So stay tuned. We're going to have some fun with this series. As I stated earlier, we're going to do this lesson in open G. Now for this particular session, I'm going to use my trusty old Cole Clark Lapdog 2. Beautiful little lap steel, solid wood. And with this guitar, because it's solid and a short scale, I can easily tune it to open G. But here's the thing. There's two versions of open G. The real version of open G is actually, I'll go through the string names with you, starting with the lowest string, would be D, and then straight through to B, D, G, B, D. But because this is a short scale lap steel, it's solid, I like to take the low string from D all the way up to G. So your tuning is going to be G, B, D, G, B, D. Very simple. And this is the G tuning is fairly easy to use for country style playing, you know. Okay, so we'll work on that, and we're going to do some country style licks today as opposed to the blues style licks. But let's go through the tuning now. So your lowest string, your sixth string, will be G. The next string, your fifth string, will be B. The next string, your fourth string, will be D. The next string, your third string, will be G again. Then the next string, your second string, will be B. And then the final string, the sixth string, your highest string, will be D. Now, a couple little things here. You may want to temper tune your two B strings. When I say temper tune, you might just want to tune them just a bit flat and use your ear. When they're just a little bit on the flat side, and I don't mean a full semitone, I mean just a little bit, it tends to sweeten up the string combinations. For instance, now if that B string, the second string, was in perfect B, might be a little bit out of tune. It's just the mechanics of the steel. So consider temper tuning, and then it gives you that sweet sound. Now that we're in tune, we'll get straight to it here with the first riff. Now there's going to be three riffs today. They're all fairly simple. They're not so picky. They're more just string combinations that you can use. Now I'm going to play you the first riff, and then we'll break it down and tear it apart. So here we go. Okay, so that's the first riff. So we'll break it down nice and easy. We're going to start on the fifth string, open, which will be B. And we're just going to put the slide on the first fret. We're not going to shake it. We're just going to use it as a fretting device. And Okay, so, and then we're going to take our first and second finger and pluck the fourth and third string respectively together. Okay, so show this down here. Okay, then we're going to immediately pluck the open low G string. So here it goes. Basically a G chord. And then we're going to take our second finger on the third string. We're going to start with the slide at the second fret, right here. And we're going to slide up to the fourth. And do that one more time. Now, when that's sliding to the fourth, of course, the open G string should still be ringing. As if you followed in the last slide, guitar licks in open E, we'll use the G as a drone. Okay, so it's going to be. Okay, and then you can use that for your pitch. You're not going to be right over top of the fourth fret. You're just going to be a little bit below it, and you'll have to use your ear for that pitch. Okay, so here's the riff at speed. One more time. There's just a slight pause before I finalize that part sliding up to the fourth. So let's play it real slow, then we'll move on. Okay, now the second part of the lick. We'll start at the fourth fret on the low G string using your thumb. We're going to slide that into the fifth fret. And then we're going to simultaneously with your thumb and your second finger pick the fifth string and the third string together. Okay, so we're not doing the whole chord, which would be that. We're going to separate it, and this is more to get the mechanics of your hand working. So, one more time. And then we're going to end that with a... So you're going to pluck the fourth string with your thumb, use your second finger all the way up on the high D string, and then use your thumb to finish on the third string, fifth fret. So it should sound like this. Now that was a bit pitchy. You have to be careful. Keep an eye on your fret. There we go. Okay, so here's the lick. And of course, while we're doing this, try to remember your vibrato, as we discussed in the acoustic lap steel lesson, you know, to make it sweet. That's your signature. Sorry? Okay, so let's play the whole lick now. One more time. Okay, now that was up to speed. Now the timing might seem goofy, but when we get to the jam track, you'll see what I'm talking about. It'll all glue itself together. So that's the first lick. Stay tuned for the second lick. Now for the next part of the sequence of licks, we're still down low on the board, but we are going to have a big jump up to the 10th fret. We'll get to that in a second. So I'll play the lick for you. That's the lick. excuse me, I meant to play forward roll on that. Okay, so one more time slow. Okay, so let's break it down. So this time now we're going to use a 3-string combination. Your thumb will be on the 5th string, your first finger on the 4th string, your second finger on the 3rd string. We're going to begin with the slide on the 1st fret, 5th string, and we're going to pluck them all together and then bring that slide on the 5th string up to the 3rd fret and listen for your pitch. You can use the fretboard as your guide, but you should be using your ear to make sure that you bring that into tune and into harmony with the other 2 strings. So, one more time slow. Okay, this next part is, so we're just going to slide right back down, but we're going to start at the 3rd fret, 5th string with the slide, and then pluck that string combination open. Okay, so here we go. One more. So fairly simple. Then this is where it gets tricky. Then we got to get all the way up to the 10th fret, and we're just going to pluck the same string combination, the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string together. We're going to slide from the 9th fret up to the 10th fret, and that essentially is an F major. And then we're going to just use a forward thumb roll. I don't like to use my fingers on this. I like to have the percussiveness of the thumb. So we end it there. And do that vibrato as you're doing it. One more slowly. Okay, so let's play the whole lick now. I did a bit of a thumb rake there. I'm going to play it properly this time because I have my old bad habits too. And then one more time. Okay, so the 3rd riff, and this is the final riff, before I give you one quick little trick. So the final riff now, we go back down to the 4th fret, and the 3-string combination this time will be the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string, and you will use your thumb on the 4th, your 1st on the 3rd string, your 2nd finger on the 2nd string. So that's the natural combination. We're going to slide that from the 4th fret up to the 5th fret. Now that gives you your C, or your 4 chord, as they say in the blues world. So it's just a slide up, we pluck all at the same time, simultaneously, and then slide up with some vibrato. And I'll do it slowly one more time. Then we're going to finish that with a sort of a string skip here. So it's going to be... So we're going to pluck the 4th string, 5th fret with your thumb. Then with the 2nd finger, pluck your open D high string. And then use your thumb to finish it on the 3rd string at the 5th fret. Okay, so it just gives you that nice open D drone sound right there. Now to finish the lick, we go all the way back down to open, and we pluck the low string and the high string simultaneously. And we're going to start with a slide at the 5th fret, at the 4th fret, 1st string, and slide that up to the 5th fret. Sorry. So we're just sort of ending the lick. But you've got that drone, and you're only plucking. Okay, so one more time slowly. Okay, so let's just run that for a sec. Again. Okay, so the timing might seem a little weird right now, but it's not going to when we get to the jam track. So stay tuned. The next part of this, I'm going to give you a cool little harmonic trick to end off the whole lick. Then I'll play the whole lick for you, all 3 parts to it, and then we'll get to that jam track. Okay, so to end the entire sequence of licks that we have here, there's a cool little harmonic trick you can do. I'll play it for you quickly. Now it's very quiet. You're going to pluck with your finger. Actually, you might use the thumb for this just to make it a bit louder. You don't have to, but we'll do it for this. So there's the harmonic at the 12th fret. And then we follow that up with just starting the slide around the 7th fret. Make sure you have the string dampened with your 3rd finger behind the bar, as we discussed in the previous acoustic lesson. And you're just going to slide that up while it's ringing. It's a cool thing. You don't want to use it all the time. We're going to use it for this part of the lesson. It's somewhat of an old Jerry Douglas trick, I think. He was the guy that sort of made that quite popular, and when he does it, it's beautiful. But here it is. We just slide that all the way back up to the 12th fret to finish the octave. Okay? So that's the lick trick. One more time just so you have it. Then I'll play the entire section all together. Then we'll get to that jam track. I promise. Okay, so let's play all 3 licks together. They won't be in any specific timing, although they will be sequential, as they will be in the jam track. But this will give you an idea where we're going. Then we can play along with it, with the track that I built for this. So here we go. Now let's just clean that up. I goofed up with my thumb, and I'm not going to bother going back to edit it. So let's do it again. Okay, so that's the entire piece. Now stay tuned for the jam track. We're going to have some fun. Okay, before we get the jam track going here, I'll just give you a quick heads up. This track is set up to play the riff twice around the entire sequence, so you don't have to go back and forth. So it's only about a minute long. The tempo might be a bit quicker than what we practiced, but play with it. Don't get discouraged. It's not that fast, and buckle in. We're going to have some fun with this. I hope you've enjoyed this basic introduction to the electric lap steel. We'll do a bunch more videos here as we go, and we're going to utilize some different lap steels as we go also. I've got a small collection. Each one of them has its own tonal characteristic, and it's sort of a hobby of mine to find these tones. So stay tuned. We'll have some fun here with this. And if you are enjoying these tutorials, please consider supporting me at patreon.com/Dan Walsh. I'll be grateful. And in the meantime, stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you real soon.